Hey Jordan, I'm glad you could join us on the demo today, where I can go over our Prospect Portal product and kind of give you a better overview of our websites and all of the research that has gone into them to make them the most powerful, highest converting websites in the industry. So,
Cool.
just to get up to speed here, so you're using RealPage and you guys have about 2,000 units. Is that right out of Seattle?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Um, Currently, who's your website provider?
Oh,
Are you using
I
G5? I
think
know
it's
that they're pretty popular.
yeah, G5. That's who we're using.
Oh, okay. Let me actually. Can you see my screen first off?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to show for you today is our prospect portal site. Our sites are unique in that they are designed with a purpose. Originally, when we made our websites, we kind of just guessed on where to put call to actions, and we did consult with a lot of our clients on how they should work, but a lot of it was just kind of going by what our designers thought looked good. Recently, we've compiled a research document, and I can send it to you after the call. But we
Yeah, that'd
hired
be great.
at Property Solutions, we hired a user experience team whose sole job is to go through every aspect of our business, every website, every single thing that we touch and interface with, and make it the best experience possible. So what we did is last year, or over the course of a year, we went to different areas of the country and performed user tests. Now, in each of these user tests, we specifically found people who were in the market for a website, and we just observed their behavior. We showed some of our sites, some competitor sites, um, and just asked them to kind of walk us through their thought process as they were clicking on certain areas of the page, what they were expecting to see, etc. Anyway, we did this research and completely revamped all of our websites so that it follows that same flow and it's that same hierarchy of importance to a prospect is how we've
Mhm.
organized our websites. So I'll send that to you after the call. There's actually about a 27-page research document that kind of lets you better understand the thought process of why we design our sites the way that we do. And from this page here, if you just look at our navigation at the top, so home is going to be the first item just because it always is. But next is floor plans, followed by photos and tours, amenities, resident supply, and careers. So the number one thing that is important to a prospect, according to our research, is floor plans and pricing. When they come to a website, obviously they want to see if I have a family of three, do you have a place that will accommodate my family in this community? So what I'm going to kind of do today is walk you through that process. I'll take you through the typical process that a prospect will go through when they come to your site. They'll go ahead and select a unit. On our sites, you can see if there's availability as if you can see that link I'm hovering over. On each floor plan, it's going to be organized according to floor plan type. So here you start off with your studios, your one beds, two beds, etc. And then if you have LRO, YieldStar, or our pricing portal product, it'll tie in the revenue management pricing right here. And so this is going to change regularly. It's live. Right here, it's kind of the big range because it's going to vary depending on your lease term, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But
Okay.
this is the overview, and this is the layout that tested. As we did over 100 user tests, this is the organization that made the most sense to our prospects. So is it all right if I kind of walk you through that process and just show you that actual selecting of a unit and then going all the way to an application?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, awesome. So let's say, for example, that you were looking for a two-bedroom. No, let's say a one-bedroom apartment, the Zeus. So you'll notice immediately we have a floor plan image here. If I mouse over it, it'll show the larger view. Now, by default, if you have a 3D floor plan in our system, it will show that first. If not, it will just revert to a 2D. So we do accept both of them. But
Okay.
here you notice the style of the design. It's really clean, very simple. I know the price range. I know how much it is for the deposit, etc. So if I want more information, I can go ahead and click on this screen here. what it's going to do is it's going to show all images associated with this floor plan type. So again, I mentioned the 2Ds before. So here's your 2D images, followed by other views of the 3D. And then we have something that's pretty cool called our virtual move-in tool. By clicking on this, you can actually see how your furniture will fit inside of one of these units. So if you know that you have a couple nightstands, you can move them into the bedroom here, put them on the side. That looks pretty good. Maybe put in my king bed. You can rotate it, make it fit against the wall, etc. For time's sake, we'll just kind of leave it like that. I mean, that looks good. But our prospects, we've actually gotten really high praise and good feedback with this tool because they can come in and virtually see how their furniture fits. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I haven't. No, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's a really slick thing, and people can spend quite a bit of time here, but I'm just going to exit out of it just so we can continue through this process. Notice on the right-hand side, all the information that will be important to someone to have a direct call to action to reach the property will be found here on the right and on the top. So on every one of our pages, you'll see the phone number. It's nice and clean and obvious of how to get a hold of us. You can send them an email if we have an agent that's free. They can try the live chat. If someone was on right now, it would say, chat now or chat is available. Then it's just the basics, the location where it's at, some important links if you have certain pet policies or other information you want to display here. Then, of course, the office hours to see when they're actually open to come in and see a tour, followed by a very important piece, which is our ratings and reviews. We actually collect more ratings and reviews than Apartment Finder and Apartment Guide, and our average rating is about 1.5 stars higher than them. The reason that is because in order to complete one of our ratings and reviews, you do have to be a resident enrolled in our resident portal, and that's a product I can walk you through another time. But you can see the interface again, really clean, really nice. These are actual residents that are living at the property. And what it does is every time they log in to pay their rent, it's going to prompt them to fill out this rating and review, or whenever a good action takes place on the property. If you have someone who's really satisfied, they come into your office, you can invite them to fill it out right then. And it's right after these positive interactions with our company that we're inviting people to go ahead and take these surveys, and that's why our results are so high. And as people come to your site, we found that about 60% of the time this really does play an important factor in someone wanting to live there if they can actually read real testimonials from people.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty cool feature.
So that's, yeah, pretty sick. Let me jump through this though. So here's the floor plan. If this was the one I was available in, I'd simply click on available, and then it's a 3 simple step program to get the unit you want. So step 1 is I'm going to select the move-in date. Now I'm not going to be available till October 24th. Just kidding. I'm going to be available on October 5th. So notice, and I'm glad we had that little hiccup there, because this does change according to the schedules you've set in your system of when you want to show available units. So when I did pick the 30th, nothing was available because of the settings that I had set up beforehand. But if someone wanted to move in this weekend, looks like they have 3 options here. So again, all the information's highlighted, really clean, the rent, square feet, deposit. It'll tell me the floor that it's on, the building type, and I can actually see where that unit is specifically located in the property.
Wow.
So if I want to be by the pool, fitness center, etc., it told me the building number on the previous page here. So it's building 1, floor 2. Here I can look at this, building 1. Here it is right over by the pavilion and pool area. I might not like that since that looks like a main road coming in. So let's actually back out and select a different one. Oh, they're all building 1. Never mind. Let's select this one because in the amenities column, something's actually listed here. Ooh, it has granite countertops. My wife loves those. And it doesn't really affect the price dramatically. I'm going to go ahead and select that unit. So step 1, check. Step 2, choose your lease length. Now, this what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. On this step, our user experience team, we originally had it so that it had 1 month on the left and 18 months on the far right. And through our test that we did, for some reason, people were hesitant to slide this bar all the way to the right. I don't know
Hmm.
what it was. It's just kind of daunting. Maybe their fingers were too tired. I don't really know.
So
But
people aren't paying close attention to that, you think, or
well,
were you guys not able to figure that out?
we asked them, and we even asked them after, the most common lease terms are around a year or longer.
Right.
And so that 12-month one is pretty common, but people were scared to just slide it over there. And so they were doing 6, 7, 8, 9. A few people were doing 12. Hardly anyone was doing this 18-month deal. And we
Hmm.
asked them why, and they said, well, it just seemed kind of intimidating to slide that all the way to the right. So we said, okay. What we did is we went and switched it and presented it as you see it now. So now we've highlighted it so that the best deal shows up on the left, and you'll notice it's going left to right, not according to month term, but according to price. And simply by flipping that, we were able to increase. Again, these are real people looking to move into a place. The average person that we tested was willing to sign a longer lease at your property simply by changing the design of it.
Hmm. That's
So
really
that
interesting.
I it's yeah, not only is it interesting, it's incredibly powerful. Just by doing that homework and testing it and using our system, people are going to sign longer leases just by the way that this step is designed, which I think is really really cool.
Yeah, that is.
Once they've determined this, step three is just kind of your final step. It'll show you your total monthly lease price, the amount, and the deposit. And then if they're ready to apply, they can click that. We actually found once someone gets to this point in the process, only 10% of people were willing to click this button. So what we did is we added this schedule a tour button. It seemed like a more appropriate call to action. Uh, People are a lot of times still want to visit your property and get an actual feel for it, with the exception being maybe student or military housing. But
Right.
I for one, want to see what it looks like. A picture is one thing, but to actually tour the unit, see the property, I would way rather do that if I'm really going to move my family there and make that big of a decision to live there. So we added this button after doing that research, and it's just your basic um, guest card box where they can fill out, put in their first name, last name, basic information, and then schedule a time when an agent can come in and check it out.
Hmm.
And most people were happy with that. We don't want to discourage the 10 percenters who want to apply. That's why both buttons are there kind of equally. What do you think of that process? Is that a little simpler than your current solution?
Yeah, it's really simple actually. I had a couple questions. I mean,
Oh, shoot.
yeah, one. I mean, most importantly, I'm not sure if you're done yet, but one is the cost. How much does it cost to to change,
Oh,
switch
that no,
over
that's a great
to the
question.
website?
So we put a lot of time, a lot of energy and research into this. This is what we call our Prospect Portal Premium
Uh
package.
huh.
And so all
Okay.
this new design, it's not extra compared to our old websites for this stuff. It's all included in any update we do moving forward. As long as someone's on one of our primary themes, it's going to be included for free. As far as the actual total price, once we determine how many units would use it in your portfolio and what other products it would work well with, I could get that number for you. But
Okay.
I can't really do that right now until I plug it in the calculator and run all that stuff. So once we finish with
Hmm.
this product and I run you through it, let's talk about maybe a couple others and see if they're a good fit. If they are, that's great. If not, and you're happy with your other vendor, that's totally fine too. At that point, though, I should be more clear on what your price would be. Does that sound
Okay.
fair?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. You said you had a couple questions. Was there another one?
Well, I mean, is some of it customizable, or is it all just kind of how you laid it out is how it's going to fit, into our website? Is this exactly how it's going to look?
That's another great question. So at Property Solutions, we have a variety of website themes to choose from. This particular
Oh,
property,
okay.
the Keys on Third, is using this theme, which is called Colossus 2.
Mhm.
I know that sounds like a really strong, impressive name,
Yeah,
but
I
what
think
you
this is
can
the one I'd like.
you sound like a strong man, so this would
Yeah.
be fitting for you. Let me tell you what you can customize on this page. So this
Okay.
background element here you can change, which is gray. These highlighted colors of blue, you can change as well. The overall theme and design, like the layout where the text is, etc., all of that's pretty static. Here at the bottom, we have what we call widgets.
Mhm.
Now, widgets they're basically just blocks of code where you can choose between 9 different options of what you'd like to display here. They chose specials, testimonials, and directions. Well, there's actually 5 on this page: community login and availability. We do have 9 to choose from. You could also have a social media feed show up here. You could have a photo gallery. You have the freedom to switch those out, but on this particular template, you need to fill it in one of these 5 places.
Okay.
So with this particular demo environment, and this is called the Keys on Third, I encourage you to come back here at another time and you can kind of look at it and play around with it. On our home
Oh, cool.
website, propertysolutions.com, if you go down to the very bottom under the resources section, there's an item called theme galleries. Now, what this is it's a compilation of all of our different themes that we offer. You'll see
Okay.
around 20. We update it all the time. There may even be a new one on here that I haven't seen yet because we're creating new ones every month. But there's going to be about 20 to 25 on here. That one we were just talking about, notice here it is with a different color scheme on it. You see the tan and the greens.
Yeah.
And you can actually make
Slick.
these look very different. So if we pull up this Azul one, for example, here it is. It has a large image slider. I mentioned widgets before. Here are 2. So this website has 2. That one we were looking at had 5. Other ones have as many as 6, just depending on the one you're looking at. But just by clicking through a couple examples here, you can see that you can easily customize it if you have a particular color for your brand, for your company. You can
Okay.
match that. If you have
Mhm.
reds or blues or greens, um, but they do look very different just based on the photography and based on the different items that you put in here. Notice these 2 widgets, they have Get Social here and About Us. And then when you switch it, they have Gallery and Resident Services. That's another
Right.
interesting kind of thing you can play with. Our websites have Google event tracking on every single clickable item on your website. What that does, and that's something that's extremely rare in our industry and very, very powerful because you can actually track user workflows throughout your website. So if you were to go into Google Analytics and make sure that that's turned on, you can track the actual flow of people through your website, see where they're being hung up. You can see how many people are clicking on this specific gallery image versus this resident services image. And you can play with, you could do some testing and switch those out. If one of them isn't effective for you on a
Hmm.
certain property, you can go in and change that at any time.
Okay.
Our time was kind of short today, but I really strongly encourage you to come in, take a look at all of the different options that we have here, so you can see all the different websites that we offer. But in these
Okay.
last few minutes, I kind of wanted to show you the back end of the system, so you could
Sure.
see how easy it is to customize these. So once you have your property information all set up here, so this is the property nine. Actually, let's show you Keys on Third, since that's where we were just at. So here's Keys on Third. You have a test domain here until you have it live. You can play with it all you want, customize it, put on your tag light, etc. And then this is how you change it out. So you simply select that. This is the same template list that we were just looking at on that other page. If you wanted to change it to a different template, all you do is simply click on that item. It shows you the new template here. Then I would click save and it would save it. Because this is live, I'm not going to save it. But if as I highlight different areas here, You'll notice up in this image block right here, as I go to different items here, different pictures are highlighted. Landing
Mhm.
main, background pattern, specials. What it's doing is it's showing you on that image what were to change, what section would change if I change that out. Let me do it on a different example since that one's kind of poor. So on
Okay.
Majestic, so if I want to change any of these images, the landing logo, notice when I highlight that, it'll show you exactly where that change would take place. The body background, that this theme has two different backgrounds, a light and a dark that you can change. The landing main photo right there that are broken down. When the image slider comes through, what's the second photo that's going to show, the third, fourth, etc. And
Cool.
so it's very easy to use, is kind of what I'm highlighting here. It's something that you can change on your level. And it's also a cost saving item as well. You don't have to reach out to us every single time you want to make changes to your website. If you want to change photos, if you want to change text, it's very easy for your team to come in and do that. The way that it's broken down and the way that our CMS system works is we create user groups and permissions. So you can decide at what level you want these items to be changed. Maybe you want to just leave it at your corporate office, leave it at that level so site people or leasing agents aren't changing. I know a lot of my clients do that.
Mhm.
Um, so you can set it so one corporate person is in charge of all of the different websites. My good friend Michelle Moriello, who works at Win Residential, you've probably heard of those guys. One
Yeah.
of her full-time job is to manage all of their different websites. So she's literally
Oh
living in this
wow.
system and changing it, all the time, and she has it down good. But our settings, before we go here, this is just a quick overview of our settings page. So you can see all the different items. You can rename tabs. You can rename different sections, and you can totally customize and change how it looks.
That's
Any
cool.
questions on any of this stuff?
No, I don't think so. It seems pretty simple, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's the goal of it. Our UX team has done a great job of not only simplifying the interface for you to control it and manipulate it, but the actual experience for the prospect. It's super clean, very user friendly. It really gets them to the information that they want to get to right away. It's very clear on where they can find the floor plans, the pricing, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I'd love to do that follow-up meeting with you and your regional about how this plays well with some of our other products, with our resident portal and our site tablet. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and get together and schedule that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, sweet. Let me stop this recording.